Imagine trusting God for a child, and then you eventually get pregnant, get to give birth to that child, and that child was killed in a stampede. Now look at it this way: marched to death in a stampede. This is the story of a woman who actually stays in a locality, a local village, a small village. You see, the politicians, some of the politicians need to do better, because this woman actually lives in a locality, like I said, and from a very normal background, from what you would call a poor, whatever, I don't know, however you want to classify them, because the way it is now, I don't think there's any middle class again. The middle class is being swallowed up by the high upper class in this Nigeria. Now you wake up one morning, and because of the way that we've seen the trajectory during elections, we politicians get to share things to people, basic amenities that people are supposed to actually have access to, and then they begin to scramble for it, because this is exactly the case of what happens. Sometimes you see them sharing food items like noodles, sharing money, sharing all of those things, and it will make sense to people, because obviously people are hungry and they are looking for what to eat. So she wakes up one morning and she's going and she hears that they are sharing money somewhere, and this is a woman with a 2-month-old baby. 2-month-old baby, mind you. And even you yourself, as the woman that gave birth to the child, your body is not even as strong as yet. Talk more, because in the part of the world that I'm from, I think you have to stay for 3 months, then you go for child education so that you can be able to start going out and all of that. So that has not happened. So exactly why would you have to leave the house to go to where they are sharing money, if not for hunger and poverty, which is in the nation? The quality of life is actually really dropping. So their news goes around that, okay, fine, they're sharing money. One of the politicians is sharing money somewhere, and she gets up and she gets there with her baby, because apparently nobody at home for her to drop her baby for. She gets there, and guess what? Crowd, they were pushing each other. Everybody was scrambling to get the money, to get their hands on the money, which brings me to a place of, must we treat humans like animals in this nation? So it can't be done oddly, like people stand in a line, in a queue, or get their numbers, some of their account numbers, it be transferred to them, or whatever. In fact, in an orderly manner, or pack it in an envelope, let people stay in the line, in the queues, maybe get them a chair to sit down, and then share it orderly. Do they have to scramble for it? Now she was holding her baby, and through all the pushing and whatever scrambling, the baby fails. And while the baby fell, she's trying to pick up her baby, and they were already, you know, the way things happen too fast, and they were already marching on the baby. You know, your baby falling, you about to bring the baby up, and the baby crying because they're already marching the baby, and the baby dying. Everything just happened in a flipping second, bro. And 2-month-old baby is easy for the child to imagine, when all of that amount of people, adults, are marching on a child. And I'm wondering, how do you march on a child, on a kid, and you didn't know that you marched on a kid? Damn, things are going on in this nation now. Which brings us to a question, which is, what way? Is this politician, or is the politician that shared money, is he aware that such an incident happened? Is he aware that the method with which the money was shared was not okay? Where are we going to as a country, as a nation? Please get your PVCs and leave your hunger aside and vote wisely. Because if we keep voting based off on what we were given, based off on what was shared and all of that, will continue to go down and down and down. The quality of life will keep going down. So we need to vote people who could actually get into office, know the needs of the people, and attend to the needs of the people. This is Chidima Talks Football, guys. Peace out.